I just think that socialism is the least barbaric alternative in the modern world, especially in the dawning sort of post-liberal era we seem to be in. I'm not socially. I don't know how to put it. I mean, what is considered liberalism and what's considered conservatism in America, neither of them appeals to me, as they're both two sides of the same liberal or neoliberal tradition. In this country, the Republicans for a long time imagine the philosophy of John Stuart Mill were divided down the middle between its economic and its social doctrines. For the most part, the economic doctrines of Millian liberalism are defended by the Republicans, and the social doctrines by the Democrats, each of them airily unaware that they belong to very much the same narrow philosophical place in the spectrum. I mean, I'm not a cultural leftist or a cultural conservative. I think I would be considered culturally conservative in the broad sense, in that I believe in education and literature and the arts and all number of things, and I'm not much interested in boutique issues about middle class people finding personal fulfillment through maximum liberty. I'm much more interested in just issues of economic justice. I don't think you can be a Christian in the modern world without, if not being a socialist, accepting that within the constraints of the systems we have at the moment, socialism is the correct general tendency that you should approve of. That is, the absence of a humane national health system in the United States is despicable. Every other developed country on earth, and most not quite developed countries on earth, recognize health care as an essential common good that should be promoted as belonging to the common weal and coming from the public purse. This doesn't mean that no private money is spent. I mean, there are many different systems. Germany has a mixed system, so does France to some degree, and they're more efficient perhaps than England's National Health Service, but the inefficiencies there tend to come from several decades of hostile government apportionment of funds and resources. It's not actually anything inherently defective in the system. What is inexcusable is the American system. When a family can be bankrupted trying to save a child from cancer, still losing the child, or a diabetic can die from want of the ability to afford insulin. That's at least something that's been fixed lately. You're basically dealing with a corrupt and savage culture, one that hasn't really crawled out of its cave yet. So, I mean, for me, the question isn't why I lean that way. It's how anyone who pretends to have a Christian conscience could be anything other than some kind of socialist. I'm not a pacifist. Where there's injustice, then I believe in the legitimate use of violence, but I just think that the state actually being entrusted with that power and actually prosecuting it justly is rare to an almost vanishing degree. But I'm not a pacifist, no. And I think that's a fundamental misunderstanding, too, of the Christian life. What the libertarians mean by violence is that they might have something taken away from them. That's all they mean. For them, violence is anything that requires them to have any responsibility to the society around them. That's why libertarianism isn't a philosophy, it's a pathology. American libertarianism. Elsewhere in the world, that word is actually used more or less as a kind of socialist anarchism, but here what we mean by libertarianism simply is a philosophy of selfishness, and I mean, it's fine if you want to be that, but understand that if that's one's philosophy in life, then one should be prohibited from using the public roads, public means of communication, enjoying police protection, enjoying any of the goods or common usufructs of the society. I mean, if libertarians want to be consistent, they should live in holes in the ground, heavily armed.